This is the part where we goof around, make jokes, you know.
Yep.
Welcome back to Shattered Worlds RPG. I'm your Loremaster Jeff, and with me tonight is the ever-faithful, the fantastically brilliant Mr. Kyle. What's up?
Hello. I'm returned once more.
Hell
The omens
yeah.
foretold it.
It's great to have you. Thank you to the oracles. And let's get right into it, shall we?
Yeah.
The camera pushes in through a vent to reveal a large, luxuriously appointed lounge room with furs of all colors and sizes draped over couches and love seats. In the center of the frame sits a man of infinite calm and sophistication, the one and only Jilyam the Fate-Driven. Across the room, a Euphrates servant kneels and lowers their head. They gesture toward the hollow screen in front of Jilyam. A call from your servant, the Tourmaline Crane, great teacher.
He's going to give it a pause, a thoughtful moment, and with a single wave of his hand signals for the hollow screen to display.
Cool. Now this servant is on loan to you from the Emperor. All the top level security on the in this secret facility are his people. So he probably has recording devices and stuff. So as long as he's in the room, he's surveilling you, even though he's
Pretend like the
ostensibly your
Emperor is
person.
literally sitting in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So the call turns on, and there's a sort of fuzzy overlay over the person. So you can tell it's the general shape of the Emperor from what you remember. You were like 30 the one time you saw the Emperor in person. Or rather, Jilyam was. And I don't think anybody else you've absorbed has met the Emperor.
I would imagine not.
But it's got like an Instagram filter or whatever, so you couldn't sell this footage to the TVs and they'd,
Yeah.
Anywho. So, and he smiles and you hear seagulls in the background, like maybe he's at the beach. And he says, "Great teacher, it's good to see you again.
Likewise.
You witnessed the power of the drive."
It was a start.
A start? We are well on our way, my friend. The plan is in place. This mission goes forward.
I do have concerns.
My old friend Jilyam, with concerns? You were not so concerned when you left my mother's religion to walk your crooked path.
I mean, in the cleanup of the test drive.
Are these details I need to be bothered with?
Simply an opportunity for you to weigh in, if your highness deem it to be so. Who am I to speak on your behalf?
Who are you indeed? Very well. Continue.
So just to interject, the stuff that we've spoken about in private messages, I would be aware of all that information at this point, yes?
I think so. Everything I've shared with you is
Okay.
what Jilyam knows so far, or what
Okay,
Maelstrom
cool.
knows.
Just wanted to double check before I started spouting off stuff that he has no way of knowing.
Sure.
Well, What I understand, there are potential for interlopers planet side. I've already started making preparations to send assurances to the planet. My own resources will be on the planet, but of course, if the Emperor deemed it to be so, there could always be more. After all, there's some crafty individuals potentially on that planet. The more confusion, the better.
Confusion?
Think of it as a mask of sorts. Put up one front, and our means are protected. Our plans will not come to the public eye in that case.
Of course. I have agents in the colony, as well as on the station. I will task someone to you. Your agent, Ms. Grave, is it?
That's right.
Consider it done.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
I assume there's a null gate there on the planet?
There should be. It's just a matter of digging it up.
If we can't control it, it must be destroyed.
Of course. How goes preparations on the wider scale? Will we be able to test the larger system soon?
Of course. Once we transition the parts of the engine to its next location, we should be able to begin the superstructure. I will send you the coordinates via private courier.
It shall be done.
Within weeks, we will have broken ground.
I must say, I'm certain the Ascendancy is eager to see the applications of this device.
The Ascendancy have always been small-minded little fools. It is we, men of power, men of strength and wisdom. We are the ones who will control this power.
I must ask if you don't mind indulging my personal curiosities.
He just raises an eyebrow, waiting for you to continue.
What are your plans should this fail? After all, while failure is not allowed, on the event lesser beings force your hand, is there a net?
Life is risk. Rule bends with the wind. If Rule needs to abandon a project, then it will be done, and others will feel the sting of the axe. It's not for me to concern myself with what other people have done.
Nevertheless, even if we contain the null gates here, are there not other powers who will open them?
If we defeat our enemies before they can defeat us, we have won. This project is the answer. We could spend 100 years trying to secure every gate of purpose. But if we took one, if we made one that controlled all of them, it would be unnecessary.
Interesting you say that. Well, anyhow, enough of my own thought experiments. Perhaps we'll come to the conclusion of that later.
Well, I'm excited to meet you in person for the second time.
It will be an interesting meeting, indeed.
Bring plenty of guards. I'm sure they'll want to test themselves against my men. They do like to show off their gymnastics and martial arts and so on. combat simulations. Who is your chief of security at the moment?
Oh, I believe that is uh Gale, I believe it was.
Ah, then your major domo is also your general. An interesting choice.
A talented individual, to say the least.
They say her blade has cleaved many heads. Would that I could have seen the footage.
Perhaps you shall be given a front row seat. Wouldn't that be a spectacle?
Jilyam, you dance on the edge of a knife blade. It will be good to match wits with you in person. Tell me, before I go,
Mm-hmm.
may I receive a blessing from the great teacher?
Oh, I think I might have something more than that for when we meet.
Then you leave me waiting for the light like a grasshopper in the field. The dew, it grows, and soon we will all be drenched.
My dear Emperor, I do promise you, good things come to those who wait.
Good day to you, Jilyam.
Good day.
Beep, beep. There it goes. That was the Emperor.
Yep.
I believe that's the first time he's appeared on this here program.
That's awesome.
His name is Aram the Second.
Nice.
So your servant stands up and walks over to the drinks cabinet and starts making some tea. Would you like anything, sir?
Come here.
Okay, he shuffles over, kneels
I'm gonna
down.
look into the eyes of this individual. Tell me, how long have you been in service for?
Nearly my entire life, sir.
Hmm, fascinating. Would you like a blessing of the light?
Of course, great teacher.
He's going to press a thumb to their forehead,
Uh-huh.
and he's going to implant I believe this is one of the things Jilyam is capable of, if I remember correctly. Mental shenanigans. I forget what all he is possible of doing.
I think he does it all with charisma. I don't think he
Ah,
has any psychic powers.
okay. Well then, we're using the other toolbox. He's going to implant very strongly the idea that at some point um they should visit some of my other areas that are not bugged, that I imagine are set up for the mesh, and trying to and essentially just join with the collective.
Oh, nice. You're going to try to rope them into the red
Oh yeah.
circle. Cool. So yeah, they go over there. They're doing something with drinks. And you wait a few minutes. How do you pass the time while you wait for your plans to...
I think he'll pull up a digital pad and he's going to start sending a secure communication device and just start sending off orders to individuals to meet with him, and some individuals to prepare landing craft to go and join the effort on planet side.
Cool. A few minutes later, Gale's face comes on screen. She's on Stoneflower Island, which is only just now resuming communications. They had to do a bunch of security stuff before they'd let people call out. And you see Gale, she has a big, recently healed gash in the top left side of her forehead. And there's, the hair had to be, cut down there. And she has a big bandage on her wrist. And she says, "Great teacher.
Yes,
It's good to see you again. You are well?"
more than.
I have an update.
Give me the report.
The what are we calling them? The people that went to Devarikar, the colony world, and then brought folks back. The Oakleaf Society. These folks, we think they're in line with House for Rule and elements of the ADC. These folks, they
Remind me of their significance again?
right. So these folks, there's Gale Zauber, Mistletoe, who's the other one? Electo Ashrender. They came onto the station and they got into some, I don't know, they seem to be all over the place, involved in a lot. There were all the shootings and bombings. They were always kind of in the mix there. And then they went onto the train. That was the one I was on. You were supposed to be at that meeting, but you canceled at the last minute. And I almost died. You remember that?
Let's say I do.
She laughs and she says, well, we managed to save the VIPs, so that's good. Anyway, while they were on the planet where the train cars crashed, they met up with some old colonists. They found somebody, some fugitive guy from Antares 1, that whole cock up over there. And he had some kind of gang going. Anyway, there's these ruins down there that we're kind of interested in, and we think they have something to do with the Null Gates. And then there's this drive project we're a part of. I don't know the science, but I figured maybe these people were related somehow. They showed up on the asteroid, and last we know, they left one of their people inside the engine chamber. And as far as we know, they're still there.
We have 3 parties here then? The Oakleaf, House of Faerun, and whatever the significance of this criminal is. Why is he important here?
Remind me, which criminal?
The one you mentioned from Antares 1?
Oh, Zilisam. He was an associate of, he was a mercenary for Markwell Industries, which is like they do mercenary, and they're like Halliburton. Anyway, they had a gig going on Antares at the same time as the assassination and crackdown in which the head of the Starfaring Services Corporation there took over and has been running it sort of like a fiefdom since. Anywho, this guy Zilisam was present when Yifrim Silvertongue disappeared, who is like a really high up fancy Yafridi lord, basically. His dad runs the State Department, essentially, the ADC.
So I assume then Oakleaf and this man are wildcards then, in this operation.
Yeah, we haven't been able to suborn anyone in Oakleaf, and they're so new, we think maybe they are a clear competitor.
Do me a favor. One of our agents, top one, get them to steal technology from this Oakleaf Society. I want a team dedicated to this. Do not inform them the reason why. Pick out people who will work that we can afford to lose. They will be our smokescreen, the first layer of this. I want these people to believe we are after their technology. I do not want them to and not any of the Infinity Ring, but to simply hamper them, to steal from them their knowledge. Do not have them go after technology having to do with the project. Do you understand?
What's their level of violence? Rules of engagement?
What's our normal level of intensity, would you say, Gale?
Oh, well, let's see. We did take over a library ship from the Baran library fleet. Uh, we sent a lot of armed people down there to Kavar 2.
Any shots fired?
We fired plenty of shots, yep. There was that whole thing with that necromancer over there. We didn't get too involved in that, but yeah, we get our hands dirty.
But don't send an overly competent group if that's the case. They're too competent at their jobs, they may just jeopardize the operation.
So we want the C team on this one.
That's right.
Who's project lead? What do you need in terms of skills?
People who could realistically do our bidding when it comes to getting their hands on technology. The way I see it, there is a possibility that if we get involved, people will pick up on that fact. That is not allowed. So their project parameters is to be loud, to pull the attention, to be the thing out of place that people look at. Then I'm going to need you to do two other things.
Got it.
Firstly, I need agents on the ground whose purpose is to oversee. They will do their best to keep people away from the large gate. They will do their best to manage the situation to keep things in the interest of the conspiracy. Then, I need you to get me a group of technicians that we can hire onto the ground as a part of excavation. I would like to see each and every single one of them individually in my private chambers.
So no locals then.
If they have to be locals, that's fine, but I want technicians.
There's tons of them. This was a highly intellectual colony. They've broken up into 4 factions. They've got tons of workers that we could maybe bring into this.
Whatever you can get your hands on a short period of time, I would like to meet each of them individually.
Got it. Should we bring in resources from outside system?
Yes, everything. I want a smoke screen of agents to be loud. I want a smoke screen of competent cat's paws and other such agents to be on the quiet side, managing the situation when need be, keeping people safe, and then I want to see the technicians.
And what about air power? Do you need any warships?
Have some waiting on the outside of the system. Once we get our hands on the drive, we will need to have a safe way of transporting it out without a lead up. Bring in a small fleet.
You got it, boss.
Of course, keep them out of sight until they are necessary.
How's that what's your servant's name? We'll call him Linan. How's Linan treating you?
He will be entering the fold soon.
That's good. You talked to the crane? That's the emperor.
Yes, I have.
Everything go well?
More than.
All right. Well, take care of yourself, boss.
He nods, shuts off communication, and will await the technician. He's gonna set up a room with the neuromesh technology that we spoke about last time, the one he's planning on deploying. And this room will be one that I imagine the servant is not been allowed access into because he does not want any bugs picking this process up. And he will await there.
Hell yeah. So over the course of several hours, one of your ships come in and it drops off the it's a modified sensor beacon that slides up and sticks itself to one of the navigation beacons that the Stoneflower Island people set up around the planet. So it like piggybacks and like does its thing without being seen. and that will allow you to project the neural mesh signal.
Awesome.
If you have people downside that are connected.
All right, cool.
And you got this room set up, and so the next thing that happens, your new project head on the planet calls up, and this is Dr. Stephen Santinelli.
Steven Sentinel. All right.
He's a broad-jawed, blonde-haired guy. Looks a little creepy. He's got small glasses, big shoulders. He's got a blue lab coat. He's pretending to be like busy and harried. And he says, "We've got everything coming down now, Captain. Sir, it's looking good. We've got all the supplies I requested. We're just bringing them in now to the staging area. It looks like this whole area," and he swings the camera around, and you see like mounds of vine-covered somethings. Essentially, it's an old ruin that's been claimed by the jungle, and you see multiple starships or shuttles have landed off in the distance, and there's a big mound, maybe 100 feet back, that's been scrubbed. The north face of it has been scrubbed, and there's a mural, and there's people like photographing it and studying it. And he says, "We're just getting the paperwork together. I should be able to get our team on the first wave. It said there's been some unusual vibrations coming up from the Earth in the last hour or so."
Out of curiosity, knowing the nature of, the null gates and what I'm playing, is that something I can feel as well from the ship, or is that like how's that whole thing working out?
I don't think you're quite that powerful.
Okay. Understood.
It's just shaking the ground a little bit. It's not like
Got it. Okay, so it's more of a physical thing than this whole spiritual energy, and mumbo jumbo
Right.
energy coming off is just vibration. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't determined yet, either in books or on the show, how close a demon has to get to like draw power from a gate or whatever. So yeah, we'll just see how that goes, I guess.
For sure. He's just gonna sit there and say, "Dr. Sentinelli, do not fret. If you were in danger, I would already know. You should go off onto your mission with full confidence that you will be safe."
So, and I know the cover story is to he's walking off to a less busy area, and you hear like toucans yelling and weird animals screaming in the distance, and he goes, "So if our obvious team gets nabbed, what should we do in terms of the gate? Are we going to secure it, blow it up, block access?"
We'll secure it, block access to rival factions, and then from there, we will ensure the success of my projects.
If we have to go through it, do you want to come with?
I'll find my way in one way or another. Don't wait up for me, if need be.
Good deal, Captain.
Of course.
It's an honor working with you, sir.
Of course. And the reinforcements, the other technicians, did they take to their programming well?
Oh, they're coming along.
Very good. They have very important jobs to play.
In fact, on the ship there, you've got a special room set up for the folks that don't take. You'll want to figure out what to do with them.
Those people have a very, very unique job. I was kind of hoping for a cast of people like this. I'm not gonna lie. I forget how many times this has actually happened, but I think for those people, I think we would cut to those people. They would be on planet side at this point. If this works out the way I would like it to. But out of curiosity, how many of them can resist my influence?
I would say maybe 40%.
And I'm not talking like throughout the neuromesh. I'm talking about the demonic influence.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Those people, they get jettisoned, but the rest of these people, they what's going to happen is he will unveil himself in front of these people and exert fragments of a mental command throughout all of them, and then tell them to forget having seen him.
Ooh, nice.
And the results of this mental command is going to be each of them will have a singular task within the setup of the neuromesh technology, integrating it into the drive, so that when it arrives at the project, it can seamlessly be integrated into the whole of the superstructure.
So you're saying these people will act as nodes of some kind?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like one big mental code for building this entire project, split between like 50 or so people.
Okay, awesome.
And so
So
basically they won't
you'd be the
know
only one that could put it
that
all
would
together.
yeah, exactly. And each of them are wouldn't know when they see what they got to do, they wouldn't know why they're doing it. They would just think this is what they're supposed to do.
Cool.
And
Very
that's what all
cool.
these smoke screens are for, to hide this.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So you've got some people that are putting things in their brain, other people that are unwilling patsies,
Yeah.
then a few that have to be disposed of.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, because it'd be interesting. How would you feel about some Jeff? How would you feel about me just putting a monstrosity together actually instead?
Oh, what's that like?
So they can resist the influence of my mental commands, right?
um, yes.
So if I can't alter their minds, I'm just going to alter their bodies and mesh them all together into one horrible mass of limbs and torsos.
Oh, I see. So you're gonna experiment.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't do that on the ship.
Oh, for sure. It's
So maybe find a spot on this colony world.
I think through one of my stooges, I'm going to put a modicum of the power into one of the stooges, and then have them put it together.
Okay, so you have somebody open up an independent lab on the planet somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you want to partner with any of the factions down there, or do it off the grid?
This one I think is mainly just investing some demonic power into a individual who is partially possessed, and have them put it together as a full-fledged necromancer might. And
Okay.
then while that's going on, I'm definitely interested in teaming up with some of the I would like to start communicating with some of the factions to start and see if I can't weasel my way in to this whole operation, make sure that everything goes according to my plans and no one else's.
Cool. So your agent with Conclave Security and the Design Safety Division on the asteroid station,
Yeah.
they managed to connect you with some of the people they captured from the colony planet. They're members of a gang called the Nightfires, and their leader is like this crazed scientist that is into all sorts of shenanigans, and so
I
it's a
love that.
perfect fit. So you send your excess people down to be poked and prodded in a secret base down there somewhere.
Awesome. And immediately after that, I'm going to tip off two of the other factions that that faction is putting together monstrosity.
Oh no.
There's going to be a war, Jeff.
Oh no. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Have you
I'm
seen Babylon 5?
I have not.
Okay, well there's an alien race in there that sort of behaves the way you're behaving right now.
That's awesome. I can't wait for the heroes to like get back up from whatever they're doing, like if they do. And there's just this full-blown conflict going on. Don't know why it started.
Mm.
I imagine they're probably going to go through the null gate, but if they do come back, it's going to be really funny.
Yeah, I don't think they've given me any indication as to whether they want to spend any more time in there or if they
Yeah.
want to go on more space adventures. But yeah, we'll see.
By the way, there's some problems now.
I mean, I know they certainly probably didn't want to come back to this shitty planet with this evil jungle and
Yeah.
weird creatures everywhere.
More weird creatures now.
Oh
So yeah.
man.
So yeah, now that that's all done, I'm imagining any competent individual planet side is going to have way too much busy work to figure out to really deal with my little slip of technology into the drive. Um, okay, awesome.
Oh, you get another call.
All right, I'll pick up.
You see that it's a voice video thing, like a fake avatar, and it's your off the books contact, the person that not even Gale knows about. And so this is one of your wild card agents called Big Bird. I
Big
don't know. And no, we'll call him Big Blue. And Big Blue is a bird.
Yeah.
And he squawks and then he looks at you and he says, "Teacher,
Yes.
teacher, I have disturbing news.
Yes.
Your old friend Violent Pam is coming your direction. She's the one that stole your starship, the Sidewinder, and got you mixed into all this foolishness afterwards."
Let her know that I'm quite thankful for her shenanigans. They've landed me in quite a positive situation, actually. Let her know I'd like to pop some champagne with her.
Is there some particular way you'd like me to thank her?
With an invitation for champagne.
Oh, like actual champagne, not
Yes. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, okay. I'll send her your coordinates.
Oh, and do warn her. The transgression is forgiven, but the next one, well, I wouldn't recommend thinking about
Will do.
it.
The gods smile upon you, Jilyam.
No, you do.
Bluebird out.
He disconnects.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Violent Pam's coming.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna go walk up to the window and look down on the planet.
Oh, hell yeah. Have your supervillain moment.
Yeah. And
Hell yeah.
I think he's very excited because right now is I mean if he can pull off his secret shenanigans here and continue them on, he gets exactly what he wants. And after that comes so much chaos. So he's
Hell
gonna
yeah.
stew that in.
All right. So the camera goes through the view screen, down through space, through the storms, through the wind and the dust, and gets down to the ruins where the starships are, the various tents and everything. and you see a little group of folks near the mural, and one of them is turning a dial, and this door starts to open, and the camera goes in, and we see Dr. Stephen Sentinelli go in with the rest of these people, and they've got flashlights, and they're looking around, and you hear like lights clicking on and things humming, and they're entering the ancient ruin. I should probably give this place a cool name, huh? Ancient ruin is sort of vague.
How about the ruins of the doorstep?
Love it. Oh, yeah, and maybe we see some creepy circuitry blinking on somebody's head.
Nice.
Or like a nano fly sucking someone's blood.
Yeah, I do believe he has the ability to just take control of their minds. So every once in a while he will come down and do things himself in that form.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's wicked.
Yeah.
So there's this like beacon on the surface near the ruin that's like blinking, or it's like allowing contact, and then whoever's wired on the surface can be connected, and then they'll have to make like repeaters or like signal boosters because it's underground.
Yeah.
But that's one of the many things they'll be doing.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I'm assuming for any communication from topside to downside anyways, they'd be putting repeaters down, so I don't think anyone would question that.
Hell yeah. Plus you're like working through a private corporation, so you can just claim privacy laws and things like that.
It's quite a ploy, I've got to say.
It's so funny having a player be like the bad guy.
I revel in it. I love playing villains. It's great.
So much fun.
Yeah. There's one thing I think he'd probably do while he's, because I'm imagining it sounds like there's not a lot more to go on from this point.
I think we covered everything.
Right.
Is there anything I missed?
I definitely know that as the demon itself, it probably wouldn't know a lot about the wider galaxy. I mean, it knows some things, I imagine, but I think it would definitely have some interest in learning more about current events because right now, there's all these players, right, that it doesn't really think are much of a threat, but right now it wants to know, who this House Ferrule is, all these people, just to make sure, are these people I need to eliminate right here, right now?
So House Ferrule is like a huge family line. They're one of the three most powerful families in the Lunari logosphere, which is like 100 planets that all swear fealty to the king and queen. The king and queen are largely absent from politics ever since the war started. So the conclaves and the logosphere just kind of hum along, do their best to run things without any sort of monarchy getting involved. And so House Ferrule, being a huge player in weapons and logistics and things, they're the third most powerful house. House Zakarian, that's the house that the royal family belongs to. They're just like millions of them.
Just vibing.
And Terusian is probably the best, the likeliest candidate if you were to reach out to a Lunari house. They're known to be corrupt, but how corrupt is anybody's guess. And right now, the second of their house, the one you'd interact with, is actually a priestess of the Church of Zora. So she's kind of like, it's a weird position. She also has the true gift, which means she's like really powerful spiritually. And she recently escaped a big attack by a bunch of forces led by one of your allies. And she managed to survive that. So her name is Therese Terusian.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know for sure that she's kept her fingers in the pie, but that's a possibility. House Ferrule is pretty much untouchable. If you can't get in tight with their boss, they're said to be impenetrable, basically. If you're not family, you don't get in.
All right.
But the head of the Ferrule Corporation is a lady named Marissa Stargazer.
Mm-hmm. That's a name I think I recognize.
Yeah, her daughter is now the head of the Department of the Faith in the Church of Zora. She's basically like a holy warrior par excellence. She's supposed to have like gone underground and defeated a demon.
I think that would definitely have interest.
Indeed.
I think he would probably ask for files on that specifically.
Okay, so maybe if you're going to reach Stargazer, you might want to know more about her daughter. Her son runs
Well, the daughter's the one who killed the demon, correct?
Supposedly. Her name's Ayana.
Yeah, I think you'd definitely have some interest in that.
It's said that she might even become the head of the church when they finally decide who to replace the
This is a little crazy, but I think he would be interested in sending a letter off to offer support.
Letter of support to whom?
To Ayana.
Ayana.
Basically, an offer of patronage and assistance for this potential crusade that she might be going on for killing demons.
Wonderful.
So I definitely think that is that's going to be interesting. Yeah, definitely having a letter sent up.
You don't know you haven't been able to get agents into this project, but apparently right after that attack that she and Terusian survived, they went off the grid for a while, and it's believed that they went underground, but the details are completely unknown. House Ferrule has extremely tight, what do you call it? Security? I feel like there's a better word for that, but yeah.
Oh, God. Oh. I think what the letter would just be I think the letter would be sent to her mother because obviously can't get the daughter. But it's simply just state, I've got another demon you potentially may be able to kill. If you want patronage and support, and then just put the red circle mark out after that.
Nice. It's dangerous because Stargazer has some ties to this Oakleaf Society. So reaching out to her in any way could lead them closer to you, to the, head of the spider or whatever.
I think that's okay because if supposedly there's been talk about her daughter killing a demon and the letters about that should be good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because it's not. It's as long. Yeah, there's not going to be much identifying information other than red circle and hey, you want to kill some demons.
The other big one is the ADC, the Ascendancy Diplomatic Corps, led by Vaba Yassim, who I mentioned from Silvertongue earlier. He's that guy's dad.
Okay.
And they're involved with that Antares crackdown. And guy that took over Kavar 2, the Viceroy, he's a guy named Ignacio Flint, or Peregrine Flint. And you met him when you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Or Jilyam did anyway.
Yeah.
And he is supposed to be like uncorruptible, but he captured Barrowman and treated him well and didn't execute him or whatever. So he's got some weakness you might be able to exploit.
Definitely we'll have to contact Berman for that one.
And he seems to be the one bankrolling this Oakleaf operation on the asteroid. Like, they've ridden on his spaceship. They've got one of his people with them.
If that's the case, if you don't mind me doing this, definitely would reach out to my form in the in-between and just ride that connection down to Barrowman and just contact him that way if that's allowed. Through demonic shenanigans.
Oh, so you want to contact Barrowman and somehow through him get to Flint?
Basically just ask, hey, what's going on there? He's simply just going to receive the image of the name Flint.
Ah, okay. Yeah, Barrowman gives you a call and he says, yes, my captor, Mr. Flint. They say he's a good man. He fought for the right side on the war, you know. Typical hero, the kind that always thwart the efforts of men like us.
He's just staring into the screen. His facade of Jilyam is just down. He wants information. He's not going to entertain anyone with flowery words or try to pretend to be Jilyam or anything. He knows Barrowman knows what he's about.
Uh-huh. He says the best way to get to him is through his wife, Petra. He'd do anything for her. She and their young son are currently on Kavar 2 while he's at this diplomatic event.
And where are you?
Oh, he's still at his prison, quote unquote, where he's doing all his dastardly experiments.
Very well. Bauman, how goes my gift?
Remind me, what was his gift?
Unfettered access to knowledge through the in-between.
Yes.
Limited for human consumption, of course, but...
He says, I've been developing a system whereby we might extend a series of quasi-sentient hyperlines flown by creatures that stay aloft for 100 years at a time. We could combat the natural swaying tendency of the paths, and by thus we would manage to create a map that is three-dimensional and allow us to monitor travel throughout the entire thing. It would take hundreds of years to put into place, but it would be quite effective.
You have nothing but time.
And I thank you for that, great teacher.
I have another call to make.
I live to serve you, master.
He cuts him off with
sort
of
ironically doffs an invisible cap as you cut it off.
Yeah. I think he's going to contact his agents. Yeah, he wants to put the neuromesh in the mother and child. He's taking them over. He wants to take them over. He's going to have them brought to the planet where he is and just do his whole possession shenanigans.
Now, as an Imperial Viceroy, Flint and his family are surrounded by Imperial security, like the most expensive people in the business, completely impossible to get to. So we'll need to come up with a scheme to do a heist of that nature. We can work that out offline come back to it.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely have some thoughts there.
Oh, dastardly.
I have some
Dastardly
really
stuff.
evil. Oh God, I put together just a brutally evil scheme for this.
Oh no. I'm gonna have
It's
to warn
bad.
AJ.
It's really bad.
No.
Uh,
Oh man. Cross the wrong demon. Bad things will happen to you.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, no, no one's safe. Honestly, the players really need to put this guy down fast.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, targeting a guy's family, that'll be a quick way to draw attention for sure.
I mean, if things go smoothly, no one should know what happened.
On this show, of course, everything goes smoothly.
I mean, been going smoothly for my little dude so far. Everything's been going his way.
I like how bold you are. You're like, I'll go up against the church. I'll go flirt with my enemies, see if I can get them, I don't know, causing more chaos.
I mean, for the most part, my philosophy with this has just been thinking of it through a lens of what would an inhuman demon, how would they manipulate humans? Um,
Yeah.
and because like this is a human mind warped beyond comprehension here. So it's very much a matter of just capable of gauging danger, but like very clearly, hungry for one goal, and everything that will lead to that goal will be done, including weight. Weight is a very valid option. I do definitely think there will be some a genuine attempt to ally the church. Ironically enough, that seems like an alliance he wants right now.
That's so messed up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they supposedly killed a demon. He wants to verify that, and if true, he wants more of that. Pound
Mm,
with the lesser demons, you know.
this is amazing.
Oh yeah.
What the listener doesn't know is that I've written several books, and right now we're sort of between 2 and 3, I think, and I'm sort of halfway through the 6th. So there's some stuff here that like the either these both worlds might completely diverge, or I might continue to be able to weave them together. But you're such a wild card that like every time you have this brilliant idea, I'm like, oh no,
I
that
mean,
could blow
so
up canon.
uh, I am doing my best to keep them as things that seed, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
therefore they will stay on the back burner for the time being. So
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Hell yeah.
No, yeah, no, I do I can't say I'm not going to just outright declare war on anyone quite yet. Just a little push here, a little shove there.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Well, Kyle, thank you for joining me, and I
Yeah.
hope to talk to you very soon. Um, for the listener, Kyle, uh, how would people reach you, or maybe if they want to reach you, send us an email?
Yes, I'll send you guys an email because yeah, I don't I don't do this this whole show thing, so I yeah, I'm more of a private citizen.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So send us an email at shatteredworldspod@gmail.com. Tell us what you think of Kyle and his diabolical schemes. And yeah, find us on Twitter at SWRPGpod. We're on Facebook, Shattered Worlds RPG, or our Facebook group, True Heroes of Shattered Worlds RPG. I'm on all the socials at El Jefe Tacoma. And please check out my streaming show every other Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's called Omniversal Escapades. I do it with Dean Eaton and Az and Jamie. Jamie's taking a break for season 2, but we've got a good friend of mine, Tess, who's going to make a superhero. We're looking at a Victorian New York superhero thing.
Ooh.
So I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know if it's called Victorian, if it's in America, or if it has a different name. McKinleyan. I don't know. We'll find out.
Wild
Stay
West?
tuned. Well, it's sort of, yeah, I mean, it's in that general time zone, but it's in the East. So
Yeah.
I don't know what. Yeah. Wild
Confused.
East. That sounds
Wild
like something
East.
else.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And I'm really close to finishing my first novel. Kyle was gracious enough to read the whole thing and gave me some great notes. And that was really awesome. Thank you, Kyle, for doing that.
Yeah, of course. I consumed that in about 2 days. I'm ready for the next one.
Oh, brilliant. Now all I have to do is finish that second one. Well, thanks, everybody. If you'd like to get your hands on that, let me know. Become a patron. Patreon.com/ShatteredWorldsRPG, and you can join our Discord. Listen to all sorts of other stuff. We have a whole D&D side quest and a Doctor Who thing we do over there, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So join the party, get on the love train, and let's go kill us some bad guys, or be bad guys, or whichever. Keep it rolling. Shout out to Space Knife for letting us use their track, I'm Taking Off, Shield Your Eyes, from their Into the Black Hole EP. Thanks, Space Knife. Keep it rolling.